This is a video to show how to do the concertina style watercolour book. This is one that I have made, and I've covered the front and back cover in fabric. But as you can see, it absolutely lays flat and the pages are glued together, so there's no stitching with this one whatsoever. And you can have as many pages in there as you want. I've used 300 GSM paper, but because the pages are stuck together, 200 GSM will work perfectly. And you can see that the front and the back covers are just attached to the front sheet. So it's not a true concertina style. If it was a proper concertina style, you would be opened it out flat, but you can't actually do that with this one. But the main thing is that each page will open flat. So I've already cut another section of book pages ready to go together. So I'll just quickly run through how these are put together and then go through how the front cover is attached. Okay, so what I've got here is one of my first inside page. The thing to remember about this is the inside page has to be the correct side of the watercolour paper. This one is a cold press finish, so it's a bit rougher on that side than it is on this side. So this is going to be joined to the next piece. So you need to fold your paper over and have a piece of scrap over the top. Get the glue stick open. And you want to run some glue about that much. Move it over and just get rid of the excess. And your next piece, so this is the right side, this is the wrong side. Lay that down on there, line it up. You've got a few seconds with the glue stick before it sets really hard, and press those together. So you've got that sort of a shape. Now I find the easiest thing to do is to work on a couple of pages at a time and then glue them together. So I'm just going to do the same thing. Make sure there's enough glue on there. Move it over so I don't get excess glue on the next one. Lay that down. Pull it out, line it up, and press them together. That blue glue stick obviously is going to dry clear. It just makes it a bit easier so you can see that you've covered the whole section. Okay, so there's the next one. I'll do one more and then I'll finish these off and then come back and show how to combine them. Line that one up over the top, press them together. Okay, now I'll keep going and I'll come back. Actually, no, I won't. What I'll do is just turn that around and join these pieces together that I have already done. So these are some of the joined ones. So you just need to line it up, slide the paper out, line it up as best you can. These don't have to be absolutely 100% perfect. It's only a little sketchbook for you to work in and do some of your trial runs at watercolour painting. Okay, so then go back to the paper. Line that one up. Okay, so you can see you've now got your pages all joined together. And I'll finish these off and come back and do the front cover. So I've joined all of the pages together. They're all ready to go into, to be made into a book. This is the fabric that I'm using for the front and back covers. And all you need to have is a piece of chipboard that is slightly wider than your book, maybe about 3 mil, and it needs to be flush with this side over here, so you need a little bit of 3 mil gap at the top and the bottom of the book cover as well. If you had your book cover extending out, the pages wouldn't open flat because they would be hitting the other back book cover, so that's why you have it flush against the side. So place your fabric down there, and what I've used is one of these book squares. So you just place that in the corner and you just use a pencil and draw your 4 corners in. That gives you the right amount of turn back. So I've done that already on this one here, and then trimmed the corners off. I've then put double-sided tape on here because I find with the covers, especially if you're using fabric, but it also is true for if you're using cardstock or paper, because double-sided tape is instant and it's dry, you get no wrinkling or warping of anything. So then you just need to line that up carefully so that you've got the same sort of amount in each 4 corners. Press it down, and then we do the same with the other side. I would be lost without this tool. I know some people use an awl. I just find this is nice and easy because it's very flat on the end. Okay, so then we just pull that down. This inside cover is going to be covered anyway. Pull that down. And what you can do is do a little bit of glue on that corner just to help hold it in place, especially if you haven't been very exact with doing your placement of the chipboard. Like I said, it's going to dry. And you can push that down in there and that side as well. And fold it over, trying to keep it fairly tight. Pull that down. Okay, so there is the cover. So here's the book. That will go onto there. Now you can, oh yeah, I've done it fairly well. With my other one, this one here, I actually covered these 2 chipboard covers with scrapbook paper and then stuck this down. But this is actually, because I've got enough material there, I can stick that down to the whole thing, which what I might do is use the double-sided tape to do that. If I can find the end. Let's take half an hour to find the end. Here we go. You're going to stick all 4 sides down. The disadvantage with, excuse me, using double-sided tape is that you've got no wiggle room with it. So it has to be put on perfectly the first time. With the glue and glue stick, if you were using like PVA glue, you have a bit of time for it to move around. But there is actually a trick, and I've just remembered what you can do is you can run a little bit of glue stick over the top of the double-sided tape, and that will allow you to wiggle the section around a little bit before actually sticking it all the way down. I'm going to try that, see how we go. This just means that the glue stick will still dry on that, no problem at all, but it just gives you a bit more time to get it exact. Now, I need to make sure it's all going on the right way. So I want the bottom to be exactly on the spine. Now, see, I didn't do that perfectly, but because of the glue stick, I had time to push it into place. Okay, so that's pretty well perfect, I think. So then I will finish off the second one once I've finished cutting it out and using the tape and sticking it onto the back, and I'll be back with the finished book. So I've put the back cover on as well as the front cover, and that's how the book looks. And I've actually cut a piece of black skinny lycra, and I use that just around there to hold it together. So it's the same as this one here, different size. That's the beauty of these books. You can actually make them whatever size that you want. Small enough to throw in your bag with just some small painting supplies. Now, because the front covers are like they are and they're not joining, when you open it, it's going to open out flat for you. So you can still just work on one page if you want, or you can do like a double page spread. This is 300 GSM, so it's quite thick, but as I said, 200 GSM will work just as well. So I hope you give it a go and enjoy your painting.